Did you know there was a local fishmonger who marched against and almost overthrew a full-fledged government, which had heavy artillery and highly trained soldiers with just sheer butter oil, sticks and stones? And by the time she was done, Uganda's professional generals were running for their lives like chickens, chased by a nobody they had dismissed as irrelevant. Historians and some writers often portray her as a confused witch who hypnotized thousands of innocent lives into a suicide march. But today I'm here to change this narrative. So without further ado, let's dive into the fascinating and complex life story of a woman whose figure remains both controversial and inspirational at the same time. Alice Lakwena was born in 1956 in the scorched blood-soaked plains of Gulu district, and the world broke her early. After suffering dishonorable divorces from 2 marriages for failing to bear children, she returned to her father's house in shame and started scrapping a living from mongering fish. She had a dream of becoming the wealthiest businesswoman in her village, enough to support her aging parents and young siblings, but fate had a different plan for her. Without a warning, Alice was struck by a violent illness and was unable to speak or hear. She was rushed to various traditional healers, but all in vain. Even one pronounced her demon-possessed and prophesied her imminent death. After a few days, Alice Lakwena vanished into Para Forest, now Makshon Falls National Park, where she spent over a month communing with animals, trees and other natural elements. But when she returned, she wasn't the same humble village fishmonger, but an oracle with healing powers that cured the sick, and a seer who read the future. She claimed the spirit of Lakwena had enlightened and blessed her with those powers while in the wilderness. By the way, Lakwena is an actual word which means Holy Spirit or a messenger of God. Alice Lakwena started hearing voices and having visions of that spirit, commanding her to be a prophetess, which she accepted, unaware that this divine calling would forever rewrite her identity and her nation's history. She claims to have received a revelation about the violence and the suffering which the new government was about to bring to the Acholi people, and thus a need to fight. But to understand her rise, we need to understand Uganda's chaos by then. In the 1980s, General Tito Okello's regime, an Acholi-led government, had just fallen to Yoweri Museveni's National Resistance Army. The Acholi people felt targeted and hunted in their own land. Imagine living in an environment where fear and despair are the norms of the day. They desperately looked for a sense of belonging, purpose and protection, and Alice Lakwena stepped into that void. She started this Holy Spirit movement slowly, not with bullets, but with sermons of hope and healing, harnessing the power of spirituality to inspire other Acholis to join her cause, and she slowly gained traction. She saw no point in healing someone today, only for the army to kill them tomorrow. The only cure was to heal the entire nation. At first, the government seemed not to care about her uprising, but the locals believed in her charisma, her words of salvation, but most importantly, her guarantee of supernatural invisibility. She anointed her fighters with sacred shea butter oil, assuring them that it would deflect enemy bullets. She also instructed them to bless their sticks and stones with the same oil, promising that every strike would drop a soldier dead. To the desperate, this wasn't madness but a miracle they could hold in their hands. Her first major assault was on a military barracks at Pajule in southern Chitugum. The NRA was caught completely off guard, and Lakwena's forces seized a significant number of weapons and supplies. Emboldened by this victory, thousands of Acholis flocked to her banner as she marched south. A woman with zero military training was now a fearsome commander, capturing town after town and giving the ruling junta goosebumps and sleepless nights. On her way, she attacked and easily defeated several NRA units, and many defected to her ranks. By mid-1987, she had pushed into eastern Uganda, though this time suffered several losses from battles around Tororo and Mbali, where over 200 of her fighters met their death. On October 14, 1987, she attacked an NRA camp at Lyowa, killing over 350 soldiers. This victory revived her army's morale, but deep inside, Alice Lakwena knew the ultimate hurdle lay ahead. They had to battle a heavily fortified garrison at Magamaga, the last gate before advancing to the capital Kampala. Though this was a suicide mission, they had marched over 400 kilometers and couldn't just stand back. But this time, the government was ready. They deployed devastating heavy artillery, automatic weaponry, and battle-hardened commandos with one objective: total annihilation. On October 20, 1987, Lakwena's forces charged into Magamaga barracks. It was a futile assault that cost her nearly 700 warriors in a single day. The survivors fled into Bugembe Forest, but the NRA hunted them down and exterminated the remaining resistance. Alice Lakwena fled on a bicycle to Exile in neighboring Kenya, where she faded from the public eye. But this story doesn't end there, because her alleged cousin Joseph Kony regrouped the remnants of her movement and rebranded it as Lord's Resistance Army, a brutal insurgence that would terrorize the very actual people Alice had sworn to protect. To her credit, she fiercely condemned Kony and distanced herself from his atrocities. For she never preached child abduction, rape, or civilian massacre. She simply preached faith and hope.
With me, I'm a prophet. I was treating a lot of people. And by that time, when Museveni took over, they found that I'm called Alice Lakwena.
This woman had even ordered her soldiers not to kill the innocents, something that added to her popularity. Desperate to return home, she wrote multiple letters to President Museveni begging for amnesty and claiming she could cure HIV/AIDS, a disease that was ravaging her people. However, the government dismissed her as delusional. But considering the miracles her followers swore they witnessed, one has to wonder, what if she wasn't lying?
The first miracle, even me personally, because I was not even able to talk, but at the moment I can speak well. The second miracle, I was having my sister, who is also a deaf, she cannot hear, but she worked on her and she's even hearing well at the moment.
On January 17, 2007, the woman who had once led about 15,000 people to the gates of Kampala died of an unknown illness in a dusty, forgotten refugee camp in northern Kenya. No fanfare, no state funeral, just total silence. To me, her story is all about bravery and shows how tough the human spirit can be, especially when they feel oppressed and choose to stand up and fight. When you see local peasants with sticks and stones charging towards machine guns, you are not witnessing insanity, but the raw, terrifying courage of people who have absolutely nothing to lose. It is said that she marched with a burning charcoal stove balanced on her head as a symbol of the eternal flame of her movement. Today, Uganda still debates her legacy, whether she was truly a revolutionary leader, a hero who loved her nation, or simply a mad woman on a rampage. But one thing is certain, her name is permanently cemented into the bedrocks of our history. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.